My boyfriend traumatized his ex, is now creeping on her, and I just now am figuring it all out. My 26 boyfriend, Levi, 27, and I have been dating around 4 years now. To make a very long story short, Levi's college girlfriend was named Lana, 25. Between him and a group of friends of his that liked to make fun of Lana, I gathered that Lana had a mental breakdown and gained a lot of weight rapidly, the combination of that and other things leading to their breakup after 9 months. Levi's friend Nate, 27, is still friends with Lana, and recently shared with Levi that Lana had a major glow-up and is doing really well now. Since then, Levi has been stalking Lana's social medias on a fake account. This includes LinkedIn and Instagram. I got very weirded out by the whole thing, and confronted Levi. He told me that he was just really proud of her, and seeing someone turn their life around so much was inspiring. I don't believe that, but whatever. If I pushed more, he'd get angry and leave me alone to play video games. I thought on it, and really wanted to figure out more about what happened between him and Lana. It just didn't make sense, and I had a feeling there was something bigger at play. I decided to contact Nate and ask him more about what was going on. I called him one day when I knew Levi would be out for a while. Nate was surprised to hear from me, but I explained the situation and he kind of just was quiet for a bit. After a bit, he told me that Lana is one of the best people he knows, and they're good friends who talk often, but she has barred him from ever discussing Levi with her, so he truly didn't know much. He said he knew that she would have panic attacks for the first few years if she heard his name or thought she saw him in public. Again, she wouldn't tell him why though. He said she essentially told him to continue him and Levi's friendship, but to never bring him up with her. The only reasoning she would give at the time was because she didn't want Levi to place blame on her if he lost friends. So for around 2 years, Nate has not talked about Levi with Lana. He said he deeply regretted bringing Lana up to Levi. This conversation obviously rattled me, and I told Levi this made me want to know even more, but I didn't want to harm Lana. He agreed because if Levi was stalking Lana, he wanted to know if he needed to warn her. He agreed to ask around with some other friends and he'd get back to me. Those next few days were incredibly challenging. I noticed more and more how much Levi was sitting around looking at Lana's pages when he thought I wasn't noticing. He was viewing her stories, her Insta highlights, going back and liking old pictures, etc., all from his fake account. I even noticed that he went back in his camera roll to times of their relationship and favorites the pictures. He was getting agitated with me constantly, and kept making passive-aggressive comments to me. Maybe you could go to the gym with me. You're about due for a glow-up too. I think you'd look really cute with blonde hair. All things that coincidentally could have made me look more like Lana. I ignored it the best I could, until Nate asked me to meet him privately in public. We decided to meet at a coffee shop the next day while Levi was at work. When I saw Nate, he looked like a mess. He was very clearly distressed and told me that he would officially be ending his friendship with Levi as soon as this all is over. Nate told me that he asked a lot of their mutual friends, and he got the full story after meeting up with them when they were concerned about why he was asking. To make a very long story short, Levi was extremely abusive with Lana. When they met, she did not want to date anyone, but he really pushed her on it. She eventually agreed, and the first couple months were full on him love-bombing her. After that though, he started manipulating her a lot. He isolated her from all of her friends. He would make her drink with him even though she never had before. If she didn't, he'd make fun of her with his friends. That led to eventually him making her drop him off at other girls' houses and leaving bars with other women. She would express her discomfort with this, but he would just scream at her for being insecure. He did cheat on her, and she eventually learned that, but he made her feel terrible for thinking it. I do not know details, as she's never shared it from what I know, but they believe he SA'd her. The only proof of this is that after a night of drinking last year, they were all talking about cheating exes. Lana brought up Levi and someone mentioned he knew Levi and always thought he was a nice guy. Lana responded by laughing and saying, "Nice guys don't SA women." The guy asked if she was sure, and she only said, "I'm absolutely 1000% sure, don't ask how." And changed the topic. Their friends are almost positive there was some amount of physical on top of the emotional abuse, but they can't prove that. They only noticed bruises on her frequently. Nate then told me that the reason they broke up was because he stole her PS4 or something, $200 from her parents, blocked her on Instagram, screamed at her for accusing him of that, even though he admits he did block her, then sent her screenshots of his group of friends, including her best friend at the time who introduced them, in a group chat they had created to make fun of her. Nate actually cried a bit at this point. He also was told that Lana drunkenly admitted to another friend that the reason she asked Nate to not stop his friendship was because she was terrified of Levi. I guess someone else stopped talking to him, and he called her in an absolute rage saying it was her fault. She didn't want it to happen again, so she avoided anyone not talking to him. Nate and I discussed how we don't know this man at all. I thought I knew him better than the back of my hand, but he is truly just a wolf in sheepskin. I'm terrified about what could happen to me, and why has it taken me 4 years to learn any of this? Was the whole relationship a lie? Do I leave? We have a puppy and an apartment together. I don't know what to do because I feel so lost and clueless on who even I am dating. I can't talk to anyone about it in fear of Levi figuring out what I know. Nate is scared for my safety and offered to let me stay with him. I don't want to clue Levi in on this and have him blame Lana again though. Nate and I also talked about informing Lana about next steps. We ran out of time this trip, but we plan on meeting up again when Levi is out of town in a few days for work. Hopefully nothing escalates until then, and Lana stays safe and unaware of this monster trying to get back into her life. I'm scared and I feel like an idiot.